relationships.
Best YouTube channel
Maybe
name
we
of
should
all time.
explain what Kerr means. It's our initials.
It's Kirsten, Isaac, Richner, relationships. We have realized it's not the best name.
If you have ideas, let us know.
Let us know in the comments below.
We could call it Kirby. B for Brigham.
Last time on Kerr, Kirsten and I got in a bit of a disagreement.
I think this is important. Do you
I
disagree?
don't think so. I disagree.
I think. You shook your head at me.
I shook it. And we told you we'd do another video on disagreements, so.
Yep. Every couple is going to have disagreements at some point. If you're not having disagreements, something else is probably wrong.
Disagreements are not bad.
Mm-hmm.
It means you both think and you're both human beings,
And
I
you
would
have
say.
opinions.
Yeah.
One's not overwhelming the other.
Fighting, yelling, obviously anything more than that are bad. And we feel very strongly that you can have a good relationship where there isn't fighting. Some of you might have grown up where like you don't even believe that that's possible because all you saw maybe from your parents or from friends' parents or whatever was fighting. And it's just a fact in your mind that couples fight. No, couples disagree, but you don't have to fight in your relationship. And so hopefully this video can help you out a little bit on dealing with disagreements. First off, we're going to answer the question that this video is called, how to win every single disagreement/argument in a relationship. Kirsten, you want to give them the secret sauce? And it's legit. This is actually how to win. It's not like, oh, don't argue. No, this is how you win. Kirsten?
The secret is that in a relationship, you are one. So you're both right every time.
Maybe that is a done actually thing, but it's legit. And that's actually the basis for this video. It's literally true for married couples. Engaged couples, you should be practicing this. Dating couples, you should to an extent be practicing this. Kirsten and I, we are one. If Kirsten is right, we're right. If I'm right, we're right. It doesn't matter which one of you is right because you're one unit.
That's kind of the key.
We're going to talk a lot more than just that, but it's actually something that should be kind of the foundation of your mindset when you come across disagreements. We're going to walk through the steps of dealing with a disagreement in a relationship. The first step, before you even really discuss it, is preparing yourself mentally. Kirst, how do you prepare yourself mentally?
Just take time by myself, I think. I think this is a really important step. There's like a pre-step to it because if you're having a disagreement, I think it can be easy in that moment to get really fired up. And so that's why we're talking about this, to kind of take a moment before you actually get into it. Because if emotions are running high and you're both just ready to lay down the law, then it's not going to go well. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we take a minute by ourselves. I might like go on a walk or just go in a different room. I don't know.
The other week, we were preparing kind of a lesson plan for this class we teach, and it was going pretty well the whole time. But one of our weaknesses is we hadn't really prepared individually beforehand. And so while we were preparing and thinking together, sometimes our ideas conflicted. And there was a point where I think it was starting to elevate a little bit, get a little heated. We decided right then, we said, let's pause, let's take a breather, take a break. It was enough to chill out and reset and think through your thoughts. Instead of thinking emotionally, think logically. And we came back and started discussing again with our new thoughts, our calm thoughts, and we actually came with a way better solution than we were both thinking before. That's the first step. Prepare yourself mentally, whatever that means for you. Before we move on though, Kirsten, what if you're in a moment like in our video last week where you're recording, like say you're in public and something comes up, there's not really time, you can't just go on a walk, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. First, if you're in public and you're having a disagreement, it's important to save it for later. And that's true, like, in a relationship. I think that's also true with kids. You don't want to, like, publicly shame anybody or yourself. If we were having a disagreement in public, then I would say, can we talk about this later? And then, like, the break is kind of built in because you can't talk about it until later.
What if you have to?
Like, if you have to talk about it?
Yeah, like, if it's, like, you're making a decision right now. Like, you're at Disneyland, and you're like, which ride should we go on?
Indiana Jones.
Maybe it really will come down to applying these steps that we're going to read through. It's a tough question. As you practice these things that we teach about, especially that first one of preparing yourself mentally, as you practice that, you're going to get better at it so that you can do it quicker. So if you're in public, maybe just saying, hey, give me a second to think. And take 10 seconds. I mean, even if you're in public, I'm sure you can have 10 seconds or a minute to just think in your mind. So that's step number 1. Prepare yourself mentally. Step number 2, we invented a range of,
solutions?
A range of situations, okay? Oh. On one end, maybe solutions is the right answer.
Okay, we invented a range of solutions.
There's a range that we're going to tell you about.
A range of solutions.
On one end, there is just backing off and saying, you know what, we're just going to do what you say, right? On the other end, it's saying, no, it's my way or the highway. We have to do it my way. All the middle is compromise.
Duh.
First step, after you've mentally prepared yourself, is deciding how important the decision is to you. When it comes down to which ride you should ride next at Disneyland, during your mental preparation phase, you should realize pretty quick, hey, you know what, actually doesn't matter.
Yeah, there are certain things in our relationship that I know are way more important to Isaac than they are to me, and I think vice versa.
You should tell the story about the dishes.
Oh, yeah. The other day, we had some dishes in the sink. Not a lot, but we were deciding who should do the dishes. And Isaac asked me, he said, how much do you want to get paid if you were getting paid to do these dishes?
And we took a second to think about it.
It.
We take these type of things seriously.
And I said, I want to get paid 50 cents to do these dishes. And how much did you want to get paid?
I wanted $8. There weren't that many. I just really wasn't in the mood. But I felt bad. I didn't want to just be like, no, you do them,
Yeah, but that helped us see that it was way more important to him not to do the dishes.
Yeah.
And so I did them.
Yeah, it's not a very important thing either way. If it's not really that important to either of you, just figure out who it's more important to and just go with that.
And that's how you can know if on our range of solutions, if you should back off
or stand up. Step number 3 is when it's a compromise, when it's important to both of you. It's an important decision overall. This is going to be, I don't know, do you think it's the majority?
I think it's the majority of important decisions.
Yeah, our story about preparing the lesson actually, I think, is a really good example of this. Coming back to our underlying principle, remember what it is? You are one. You are a team. In a team, individuals don't win. You win as a team. And so the only way you really lose a disagreement is when you're not willing to compromise and come up with the best solution. If you're so prideful that you have to have it your way, you've just lost. Because your way is not the best way.
The best way is coming together.
That's pretty much it. Like our first tips that we had was to prepare yourself mentally. That can definitely include preparing your argument, preparing your own thoughts mentally beforehand. A lot of the times you might have kind of a feeling of this is how I want it to be, and you might have some thoughts and some logic behind it. But until you can really sit back and think it through and realize, okay, why do I want it to be that way? You're not going to be able to really come to a compromise because you're not going to be able to convince your partner that that's how it should be. And same vice versa. But when you've both prepared, you can come together, discuss, say, hey, here are my thoughts, X, Y, Z. They share their thought. And then you realize, you know what? Your Y and your Z are a lot better than mine, but my X is better than your X, so let's use the combination of them. Or sometimes, and this is kind of my favorite, is it'll lead you to thinking of a completely new solution together.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you've just won. You've just won the argument. They've just won the argument. Your team won the argument because you came up with the best plan together.
I think a really important part of this process is remembering to be humble and listen to what the other person has to say, because it's totally pointless if you go prepare your argument and you're not even planning on listening to their side of the story.
The thing that tears every relationship apart, and I'm willing to say that as an absolute, even if only Sith deal in absolute, is pride. 100% of the time. Pride is going to tear your relationship apart. Remember that in your disagreements. Just be humble. Remember you're a team. And so if the team wins, you win. If the team loses, you lose. Right, Brig, do you have anything you want to add?
If you liked our video, subscribe and tell your friends. Leave a comment if you want.
It's just so drawn out.